Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about Manta. New L2 on the block, helping Ethereum scale. Recently had an airdrop. A lot of buzz going on about this project. And what better time to talk about new projects, try to find other projects that's going to blow when the market turns around. Right now, things are dropping. I think it's fire sale, time to get in on good projects. And this appears to be a good one. So let's take a look at Manta and see if it's worth an investment. Again, this is just some guy on the internet just talking. I'm not providing financial advice, just basically what I'm looking at when I go through projects, seeing if it's worth an investment for me. So let's take a look at the L2 called Manta. Let's see what we got. So Manta currently on CMC is ranked 93. Current price at the time of the video, $2.68. And if you look at it, I mean, there's been some positive activity. The market, everything's down, right? Bitcoin, ETH, all the top big caps are down, but this one's doing pretty well. I mean, just look at it. Past 7 days, up 17.9%. Past 24 hours, up 11%. And then you look at the 1 hour, it's up 5.2%. So very nice. Market cap of 671 million. So it didn't hit that critical 1 billion mark yet. So, still has room to grow, I believe. And if we look at the 24-hour volumes, about 348,000. So that's good. A lot of activity going on with Manta. And then we'll take a look at the tokenomics a little bit later in the video. So if we look at trending searches, according to CoinGecko, you see that, and it's consistent with what we're seeing with the activity, right? Manta is trending. People are interested in it. Again, it just had an airdrop, and probably, that's probably what's, I'm guessing, giving all this interest into the project. Not to mention it's pretty decent too. And you have Pith, and you have, all the other ones that we talk about on this channel as well. So what is Manta? It's a multi-modular ecosystem using ZK apps, so zero knowledge apps. Manta Atlantic, which is an L1 that is actually built on top of Polkadot layer 0, claims to be the fastest ZK L1 chain that brings programmable privacy to Web3 through compliant on-chain privacy and identity. So that's interesting. So Manta has an L1, which we just talked about, and it also has an L2, but the L1 built on top of Polkadot, like I said, but their use case is that they're going to be compliant with privacy, and also be, as far as secure and everything like that. And I think that is a very interesting use case for an L1. You see a lot of them out there, like Rose that comes to mind. And then we had other ones that got in trouble with OFAC, Tornado Finance. And I tend to stay away from privacy cones because I know that the government's watching them and they either get delisted on exchanges or they get in trouble. But this is an interesting take. But the L2 is Manta Pacific, and that is obviously started to help with the Ethereum and their scaling. What makes them a little bit different is that they merged onto Celestia. But again, it's a unique L2 ecosystem, EVM native ZK applications. It provides a scalable and an inexpensive gas fee environment for ZK applications to deploy using the language of Solidity. Now, we know that on Ethereum, when things get hot, that the gas fees are outrageous. So it's interesting that this project here has an L1 and an L2. And the L1 is on Polkadot and the L2 is on Ethereum/Celestia. Very, very interesting. Now, the founders and the team are from, you have the likes of MIT, you have the likes of Algorand and Harvard. So pretty, as far as background and team goes, a lot of smart people on there. They have some big VC backing. You have Polychain Capital, also Binance Labs, who are big investors in the project. And what makes this one interesting is the first major L2 to use Celestia for modular data availability. And it's the first L2 to transition to Celestia on mainnet. So very, very interesting. That's what makes it a little bit different than the others. It transitioned to Celestia due to all the increased adoption. TVL was growing, and they want to use their modular blockchain stack due to, again, the increased adoption. Now, what is the modular blockchain stack, right? So it helps separate key functions like consensus, execution, and data availability on dedicated layers. The modular structures are then, they unlock scalability previously impossible without sacrificing security. So that's impression and verification. So that's very, very important. So we get the technical stuff out the way. Now, look at the adoption. Now, part of this could have been because of the airdrops as well, but over 500,000 followers, 667,000 followers to be exact. A lot of well-known people in the space also follow this as well. You can see them there. Pith's following them. Philip Swift, Lady of Crypto's following them. Blockchain ecologist. So a lot of Mr. Finance. So important people that are in the space are paying attention to Manta. Now, if we look at this, according to Manta Explorer, the total number of addresses, 375,000, and active addresses for the past 24 hours, little over 32,000. About smart contracts, about 25,214. And those are the TPS numbers up there. So not too shabby. Now, if we look at TVL, this is what kind of piqued my interest here. We look at TVL, we know that ETH is the big one as far as DeFi and TVL goes. But if we want to look at where Manta ranks here, you see that Manta is right there at number 9, above the likes of Base. And Base was killing it for a long time, and it jumped it, It jumped over them, jumped over Postchain, over Sui, Cardano, and it has currently 417 million total value locked. Now, what's driving this? Let's take a look. So you see, basically, they have lending, they have dexes. QuickSwap is one of the big dexes there, but it looks like Arbitrage Swap is their native dex, and that has about 10 million in TVL. So this is a growing ecosystem here, and I'll show you a little illustration of the ecosystem as well. You have Manta Swap, just very interesting. To be so new and to have so much TVL is very telling. And again, here is the ecosystem here. As you can see, growing. They have a native wallet as well. And I'll get to that in a couple of other slides here, but you see that this is a growing ecosystem. So I don't know what's not to like about this project. Now, we want to compare it to the other L2s. What separates Manta from the likes of Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum, all these other L2s, right? Let's take a look at the market cap. So when I'm looking at something, I want to see how does it compare to the others and how much more does it have to grow? Is the others that much better than it? And if not, then I see a potential investment, right? So we see that Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum, and those are the ones on top of it. And you compare it to the top one, which is Polygon, which has crazy partnerships. So the market cap is justified. 6.9 billion. Then you have Optimism at 2.6 and Arbitrum 2.1 billion. And then you have Manta here under a billion at 672,000. Then you have Metis, which is another good one. That's at 378,000 as we speak. So leads me to believe, does this project have some room to grow? And what's different about it? What's different about it is that it's using Celestia, right? And it's faster, and because of using Celestia, the fees are even cheaper than they would be on these other L2s. And that gives it a lot of use case. And Celestia, we know, is doing very, very well. Although it's taking a little breather now, it is doing very well. So that's what kind of separates it from this. It's the new kid on the block. It has different technology. And as far as saving users money, it may be the top one when it comes to that. However, there are some concerns about this project, and we'll get to that. So they did have a DDoS attack shortly after the token issuance, as well as their airdrop. The good thing about it is that the chain was moving as it was supposed to. The only drawback to this was that the fees, the system became congested and the fees were kind of high. What I like about this is that the team came out and said, hey, if you were impacted by this and paid excessive fees, let us know and you'll get reimbursed. And they were quick. They were quick with that. So that's very, very positive. But ever since then, no one lost money as far as anything like that. So that's pretty good. That's good. And what I talked about savings. So Nick White posted this saying Manta just crossed 1 million in savings. Estimated savings as far as gas fees go when you use this L2 It's astronomical, and that is the big use case for this L2 right here. That is huge. That is very huge, and I think leveraging the Celestia DA is going to help, and that's what's helping with that. So I like that. Next, we see that they are expanding into key Asian markets, Korea and Hong Kong. So they are working with Web3 projects in that region, and trying to grow the adoption there, and that's positive. You want to crypto is not only in the U.S. A lot of people, you tunnel vision and you think that it's only here in the U.S., Canada, and Switzerland, somewhere like that, but it's all over. It's global, and I like to see that they're going over into Asia and spreading the word, and hopefully the adoption increases. Now let's take a look at. They do have a native wallet, and they offer staking. At this time, the Manta wallet is not on iOS. As you can see here, you have to switch over to Google Chrome, but they do offer staking as well, which is positive. Now we look at the Manta allocation, and we look at tokenomics. They have 1 billion in circulate. Well, 1 billion allocation. Now, tokenomics is something that's left to be desired, because I believe only less than 30% in circulation. So there's going to be some inflation with this project. And as far as burning goes, I don't know if they have a burning plan in place, but right now the inflation is the concern. But here's the breakdown as far as, the token allocations during the launch. As we mentioned before, there was some token airdrop, so that was positive, and that was, that's good. But there's the breakdown there. And if we look a little bit into it, we see that as far as the token releases go, the last release was on January 18th. And at that time, it looks like 630 million was released. And then after that, per day, you have 172,000 Manta being released. So that is interesting. And then we have another big release that's going to happen on February 29th, 2024. And then that releasing about 8.3 or 8.5 million. So that is interesting. But if we look at, again, just taking a look at the circulation as far as what they have, you see total supply 1 million, max supplies 1 million, and then only 25.10% is circulating right now. So there's going to be a lot of inflation. So overall, what do I think about this project? I like the tech. It's different. I like what they're doing with the L1 and L2. As far as saving people money, I think during the heat of the bull run that Manta is probably going to benefit a lot from that. Not to mention they have a lot of TVL, and it's growing, only growing for a brand new project. It's crazy to see it in the top 10 already. So inflation is a concern, but I would take a look at the price. Right now it's hot. If it dips, and we keep seeing some dips, and you get in at a good entry point, somewhere around $2 or under $2, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think this project, at the heat of a bull and everything is going crazy, I could see this project, doing the 10x. And even with the inflation, I still can see it doing the 10x. So that is my review on Manta. It sucks I missed the airdrop on this one. This probably would have been a good one to get some airdrops in, but hey, you can't catch them all. So guys, let me know what you think of Manta. Do you think it can be the top L2 come this next bull cycle, or do you think it could be Metis, another one? So guys, have a good night. Thank you for watching, and until next time.